Shitcase Cinema. On the Shitcase Cinema. Oh, it's the Shitcase Cinema.
I'm gonna get my trucker's license one day.
Oh yes, it's time for another slice of Kurt Russell action, so let's see what that old funny fucker is doing now. Kurt plays Jeff and he's cruising along his brand new car with his wife Amy, played by Kathleen Quinlan. Now she starts boring Kurt to death about a competition on the packaging of the donuts, but don't just think that this is some bullshit filler talk. No, this conversation about 90,000 donuts will turn out to be very important later on, so remember it. Holy shit though, stupid bitch, your bullshit conversational skills made Kurt lose his concentration at driving and almost made him crash. Pfft, women. Shortly after, when stopping to fill up his car and probably beat his wife up just a little bit to let her know who is the boss, the guy starts to mouth off at Kurt. Now he obviously has no idea that this is Kurt fucking Russell. He should just thank his lucky stars that Kurt didn't destroy him. Now on that note, Breakdown's really clever because it's not some stupid out and out action movie where the main actor is a really superhuman James Bond kind of hero. No, Kurt plays an everyday Joe and it makes the situations and emotions that he goes through all the more believable and easier to relate to. Oh Kurt, you're great. Saying that, if I saw Kurt Russell turn into a 30-foot robot with a magic staff, I'd still find him believable and real. So their brand new car naturally breaks down, hence the title of the film if you were wondering, and a helpful truck driver stops to help out in the form of the great late JT Walsh. Now I have to go on record as saying I love JT Walsh and it's a real shame that he died shortly after this movie was released. He really was getting some great roles in big films and could have really gone on to bigger and greater things, but sadly he's dead. So Walsh gives Amy a lift and basically tells Kurt to piss off and drives away in a hurry. Kurt stands around just holding his dick. Then he finally fixes his car. Turns out a wire has been pulled out by this guy, even though he never even went anywhere near the car earlier on. Actually, maybe his tash came to life and scuttled underneath the car and then it jumps back onto his face. It's just an idea. So Kurt drives to a cafe to meet his wife, but as you can probably guess, she's not there. So he decides he's probably best off without her anyway and drives away to start a new life, but he sees JT Walsh in his truck and makes him pull over. Yeah, if Kurt Russell wants you to pull over, you pull over. Walsh thinks it'll be funny to play mind games with Kurt and tells him that he's never seen him before in his life or his wife. Now conveniently, a cop drives on by and oh hey look, it's that guy who always just happens to play a cop in films like this. So there's no sign of his wife. Kurt gets upset and rather distraught and goes on to report his wife as missing. He goes on back to the cafe and demonstrates his macho man powers by grabbing some order slips from the cafe owner. Look at that, nobody grabs order slips quite like Kurt. And then it's time for him to shit himself again. Hey come on, is that the cop? No, is it the goon from the start with the removable tash? Guess not, just some random goon who looks like both of them. Back outside once again and he talks to a friendly retard about his trucker's license. But Kurt doesn't give a shit about a friendly retard's trucker's license, so he says, screw you special boy, where's my wife?
Well they think I'm a dummy, but I ain't. I'm gonna get my trucker's license one day. Now
he finds out, goes for a drive again, and this time gets cut off by the evil Tash man, so he drives away in a panic. Now that's the great thing here, 95% of films would have the hero pull out his own gun or get into a fight, but no, Kurt does what most normal people would do in real life and really panic and drives away, and Kurt's acting throughout is so believable that you really get drawn into it and feel every raw emotion that he's going through. This part makes me chuckle when Kurt's being chased. His voice changes like part of it was dubbed over or something.
Son of a bitch!
I know, let's try it out, just to see whether it's Kurt or if it naturally just affects everybody.
Kurt Russell has entered me. Son of a bitch! What do you want?
There you go, it's the force of Kurt. But then in a flash, Kurt suddenly realises though that he's the king of coolness, so he has to impress us even more and does this by planning a suicidal drive into the river just for our entertainment and then shows us how to survive harsh rapids. Oh Kurt, we salute you. The things he does to entertain us, he's lost his wife, he's lost his car, and he's all wet in the water, but then he sees a pack of donuts following him in the water. You can just see his face reaction just saying, fucking donuts, this is all your fault. I half expected Kurt to blast out red laser beams from his eyes and blow the donuts up, but maybe that'll happen later on. So Kurt gets knocked out by the friendly retard who's only pretending to be retarded. Why would you do that? It's mental. Anyway, Tashman joins in and they threaten to kill Kurt, but he tells them that he's the donut king and has 90 grand in his bank account, so they let him live. JT Walsh pops up and tells Kurt to go into the town and withdraw all his money so that he can have his wife back. Now Kurt's a little bit paranoid that everyone around him is listening and watching, and he wants to tell the bank manager about his problem, but all the stupid guy says is yes every time Kurt starts to talk.
Yes. Yes.
So thinking that this town is full of pricks, Kurt goes for a ride with the Tashman and is tied up, but nothing can hold Kurt, so he breaks out and goes on to beat the shit out of the Tashman and making him tell him where his wife is being held. Now conveniently in films like this, the sheriff just happens to be driving along and sees something suspicious, and before you know it, he gets shot by the Tashman. Tashman is about to shoot Kurt, the cop shoots the Tashman, and Kurt drives away to safety. Whew, what a load of shit. Kurt stumbles across JT Walsh just hanging around for no reason whatsoever and runs after him and climbs onto his truck. Brilliant, Kurt, what are you going to do now? Now, ever since I saw this film when it first came out to this very day, I've always referred to this scene here as doing a Kurt Russell, where he climbs from underneath slowly and not too easily, I might add, to the front where he can just sit down and chill out. Now every time I drive past a truck, and this is no shit, I always look at it and think, could I do a Kurt Russell on that? But sadly I've never seen a truck that has the foothold and handles in place that Kurt Russell just happens to have. But, you know, he's Kurt fucking Russell. He probably just thought to himself, I could use an extra handle about here and one would just magically appear for him to hold on to. Anyway, Kurt sneaks into an old barn and sees the bad guys pulling his wife out of the truck, who appears to be dead, and Kurt is upset, look. Oh, poor Kurt. But she's not dead though, and Kurt soon tries to break open the secret basement door. Come on, Kurt. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now my plan B will be to go into the house and cane the bad guys. So that's what he does, and he puts them in their place here.
Don't mister me, you son of a bitch. My wife is locked up in a hole in your fucking barn. And if you don't give me the key, I'm gonna blow your fucking head off!
But just when things are looking up for Kurt, a little kid walks in with a rifle. Yeah, a little kid with a rifle. Yeah, go on Kurt, twat the little shithead, and the fat man got shot as well. 2 birds with 1 stone and all that. Classic. So Kurt makes them free his wife, calls JT Walsh a fuck, and kicks him in the head.
You better remember this, fella, because no matter where you go,
How can somebody be a fuck? Whatever. So that's the end. Unless you want to see the super duper ending, Walsh turns completely insane and tries to destroy everything with his truck, including his own trailer house here. Then as Kurt speeds away, these 2 goons sandwich him in here, and then when you think it couldn't get any worse, Walsh storms in and oh my god, how's Kurt going to get out of this predicament? Well, someone was bound to lose control and crash, so there you go. The truck loses control and the trailer falls off, making Fatso crash through it, and now it's 1-on-1. Things seem to be going in favour of Walsh here, and he gets really excited by this. Yeah, alright, calm down, big man. Now Amy gets her leg trapped and Kurt just bails on her. Look at him go. He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. It's nice knowing you. But he decides he wants to drive the truck himself. I'm back, you fuck. Let me drive over my wife's leg. So the truck drives over the edge, there's a short tense fight, and Kurt gives Walsh his death stare here and pulls him to his doom. Oh no, he's still alive, probably paralysed, but modern medicine is pretty good these days. Unless you have a truck land on you. So yeah, that's Breakdown. Now Breakdown is one of those rare films that I have on both DVD and video, but the taglines have changed. Now the video has the rather dark and sinister "It could happen to you," whereas the DVD casually says, "No one is safe from chance." What does that mean? And I love it on the back of DVDs when it shows this. Language, it should say, Kurt fucking Russell. Sex, nudity. It's Kurt Russell. He's the pure sex. Violence. Come on, it's Kurt Russell. Other. None needed. It's Kurt fucking Russell, you gimper. And if you have a breakdown in the future, remember that this could happen to you. 8 out of 10.